My name is Laika, and my life used to be filled with happiness until the day Martin walked into it. We met in college and fell madly in love. Martin was charming, witty, and seemed like the perfect partner. I never imagined myself to be married because I have always been so dedicated to my goals and dreams. I even label myself as a career over partner kind of woman. My plans for my future have always been systematically organized. I already have my long-term plans set in motion, and my mind is set to focus just towards my goal. I'm so happy to live on my own. I am content to fulfill my dreams, and I thought no romantic love can ever replace that principle in me. But then again, Martin came, and just as I have said, I was happy, genuinely happy, until I chose to let loose and fall in love. We dated for 4 years in college, and after graduation, I built my career from scratch. I hustled my way to the top. I did my best to establish a name for myself and become successful in my profession as a digital artist and become financially stable. But Martin, on the other hand, has the opposite principles compared to me. Unlike my hustle mindset, he got his lacking of mindset. It seems like he doesn't have plans for his life at all. He didn't pursue his degree nor took the opportunity to venture into a different career. It frustrates me to see him like this because he's a person who has very big potential. I tried to talk to him of it, but he would rather stay at home rather than waste his time on things he doesn't like. So I asked him, "What is it that you want to do?" He just shrugged his shoulders.
I don't know. I just don't have the drive or will to pursue something, and besides, my parents are rich, so why bother finding a job if they can sustain me financially?
My eyes widened as I heard his response. He doesn't have the provider and dreamer attitude. It just shows how spoiled he was. But your parents won't live forever. You have to build your own life according to your terms and dreams.
Oh, can you just shut the fuck up? I told you that I don't want to work. Why do you keep on insisting on that to me? My parents are rich, and so am I. I'm not like you, who is poor and craving for money.
I was taken aback by the hurtful words that he said in his loud and looming voice. I could feel the sting in my heart as it triggered my eyes to form tears. I'm sorry. I just wanted to help you with your life, but it seems like you don't need me anymore. He heaved a deep sigh. Frustrations and annoyance are very evident.
You know what? Can you do yourself a favor and be useful for once? Just shut the fuck up and stop acting like you're doing something great for me.
After he said those words, he left me alone. I cried my entire heart that night. I was so broken. His words cut so deep that I could feel sinking into deep agony. I loved him so much, and I didn't expect him to say those words right in my face. I told some of my friends about that issue, and they kept on advising me to leave him because he was such a red flag. But the next day, he made it up to me. He gave me flowers, books, and my favorite food. He told me that he was so sorry for what he said and it was his frustrations controlling him. After I accepted his apology, the changes in his behavior were evident, and for once I felt happy and at peace in our relationship. With that sudden change in the course of our life, we got married, and soon after our son Henry was born, completing our little family. At first, everything seemed fine, but over the years, Martin's true colors began to show. He became controlling and arrogant and had a constant air of superiority about him. His attitude towards me turned from affectionate to dismissive, and he often belittled my opinions and ambitions. Our once loving relationship spiraled into a dysfunctional mess. I could still remember the most heated argument that I had. "Martin, we need to talk about our finances. The bills are piling up, and I think we should come up with a plan to manage them better."
Oh, now you're suddenly concerned about our finances? You are always terrible with money, Laika. I can't trust you to handle anything related to finances.
That's not fair, Martin. I have been trying my best, but in fact, I'm the one who is finding a way to get us some money. You always act like you're the only one who knows how to handle money.
Well, maybe if you were smarter and more responsible, I would let you handle our finances, but you're just not capable, Laika. Well, you're just the moneymaker and I'm the handler. It's best if I take care of everything.
I could feel the frustration building in my system. You see, that's the problem. You constantly belittle me, call me names, and control everything. It's like you enjoy making me feel inferior.
Maybe if you weren't a nagger? Just do your fucking job, Laika, and provide.
I wanted to scream at his face and tell him that it is supposed to be his job, but here he is, jobless and irresponsible. I'm the one making money and he's the one spending all of them. I can't believe you're saying this. I'm your wife, not an employee that will make money for you. After that incident, I realized that I had enough. My life seems to be going on a path with no destination with him. So we decided to divorce, but he kept on insisting that we should stay together. I am also fighting for my son's custody if ever we separate. After that, he moved out of the house, and it has already been 6 months since we started co-parenting. The setup worked for us as long as we don't have to see each other and interact personally. I want him out of my life forever, but the world didn't stop giving me another challenge, but this time the challenge was bigger and even harder. It was a fine day. My son, Henry, and I were about to go out to shop for toys and do a grocery run when a loud knock on the door startled us. I was so shocked because I could feel how aggressive the knock was. So with complete braveness, I marched towards the door and opened it. It revealed a random woman, a stranger to me and my son, who was so angry and looking at me with furious eyes. "Where is your son?" she shouted in an angry voice. I saw my son almost stumbling in shock. I was so confused as I tried to stop her from entering our house. Please, calm down. This is our house, and you are invading our privacy?" She shrugged me off and made her way inside. My son hid behind me as she was looking for someone. "Where is your son? Show him to me, and I will let him pay for what he did to my daughter."
Mom, I'm scared. Let her out. I didn't know anything.
My son clutched my arm so tight for protection. "Shh, I'll never let her hurt you. Get behind me. I'll stop her." I tried to stop her, but she was so strong and persistent until I used all my strength and screamed, "Ma'am, I'm demanding you to stop and stay still, or I will call the police and have you arrested." I raised my phone in the air and dialed 911. She stopped moving and looked me in the eye. "Oh, so you didn't know, so let me tell this straight to you. Your son got my daughter pregnant. She's only 20 years old. He ruined her life. And now after learning that my daughter is pregnant, he ditched her like a stray cat. Where is he? And I will teach him a lesson. Tell him to stop hiding under your skirt, and oh, you have to pay me $100,000 for the damages your son have caused." I looked at her with confusion. I don't understand what she is trying to say. I looked at my son and I couldn't believe that my 7-year-old son got a girl pregnant. That is not right at all. "Excuse me, ma'am. This is my son and he's just 7 years old. How can you say that? He got your daughter pregnant? That is freaking impossible." She just stood there shocked and confused as well, but then her expression changed. She shook her head in disagreement. No, you're lying. You are lying. Where is he? Show him to me. You are just hiding him for sure. Your son is 30 years old. Where the fuck is he?" My jaw dropped from what she said. 30? Oh God, I am 30 years old as well. How can I have a son with the same age as me? Ma'am, you must be joking or you are just in the wrong house. "No, that is impossible. He told me that you are his mother. This is him." She showed me a picture of the guy from her phone and my jaw dropped once again as I stared at the photo. It was my husband. My son gasped in shock and covered his mouth. No way. "Do you know him?" I nodded in response. He's my husband." "It's Dad." The woman closed her eyes in frustration and tapped her temple. Please, where is he? Tell me. I'm so sorry for causing chaos, but I'm just so furious right now. Just tell me where he is. To be honest, I don't know. We separated for 6 months now, and I don't even know a thing about his whereabouts. I could see her eyes welling in tears, and I felt sorry for her. He got my daughter pregnant, and he dared to lie about having a family, and he even ditched her. He is so cruel. I held her hand and comforted her. Don't worry. We will get revenge. You're not the only one he did wrong. We will join forces to take him down. And with that, Trisha and I planned how to take our revenge. We searched everywhere for him. We even invested to hire an investigator just to locate his location, and we found him in a town 12 hours away from our city. And with that, we decided to confront him and to expose him. We gathered evidence of his abuses towards me and the adultery and lies he did to Trisha and her daughter. It was time to put an end to his evilness. He is a cruel person, and he has to be punished for it. We reported the incident to the police department, and they were so willing to help us. They accompanied us to the location, and we found him immediately. He was about to escape the moment he saw my face, and when he glanced at Trisha's face, fear was forming in his face. The police were so quick to catch him, and everyone in the town saw the way he was captured. So I took the opportunity to reveal to everyone what he did. Everyone, this guy right here is an abuser, manipulator, liar, adulterer, user, and gaslighter. For years, I suffered from his toxicity and stupidity. But now I discovered that I was not the only victim of his evilness. He hurt and abandoned an innocent girl just because of his jerk behavior and cowardice. This man is nothing but a criminal who deserves to be in jail. Martin's face turned pale as the reality of his actions hit him like a ton of bricks. Trisha was right there beside me. Her satisfaction was evident in her eyes. But I wasn't done yet. I continued my speech, exposing more of his bad behaviors by further highlighting his toxic behavior and mistreatment towards me over the years. In front of the townspeople and police officer RC, I poured my heart out, recounting the pain he had put me through, the emotional abuse and the humiliation he subjected me to. The room was silent and all eyes were on Martin, who had no escape from the truth now. The humiliation he felt at that moment was just a taste of the pain he had inflicted on me. I had turned the tables on him, and he was left defenseless and exposed. The facade of the confident superior man he had pretended to be shattered in a million pieces. As the days went by, the news of Martin's infidelity and his humiliating revelation spread like wildfire. He became an outcast in our social circles, and his professional reputation took a hit as well. In the end, I found closure and strength in standing up for myself. The revenge I sought was not just about humiliating Martin, but about freeing myself from his toxic grasp. The revelation brought me the support and understanding I had craved for so long. Life wasn't easy after that, but I was no longer shackled by a dysfunctional relationship. With the love and support of true friends and family, I learned to heal and move forward, embracing a life filled with happiness, self-respect, and genuine love. In the aftermath of the revelation, I focused on rebuilding my life, both for myself and for the sake of our son, Henry. Although he was too young to fully comprehend the situation, I knew that growing up in a toxic environment would leave a lasting impact on him. My priority was to create a safe and nurturing environment for him, shielding him from the chaos that his father had brought into our lives. With the support of my true friends and family, I started attending therapy sessions to address the emotional scars left by the dysfunctional relationship with Martin. Through therapy, I learned to recognize my worth and value, understanding that I deserved respect, love, and happiness. As time went on, Martin's life continued to unravel. His reputation in both personal and professional circles was tarnished as he struggled to find support among those who once admired him. His arrogance had cost him dearly, and he was left to face the consequences of his actions. Meanwhile, I found strength in my friendships, particularly with Trisha, who had shown genuine concern for her part in the affair. We slowly built our friendship, learning to be there for each other. It was a long and arduous process, but it allowed us to heal and grow together. As for Henry, he grew up in a loving and supportive environment, free from the toxic influence of his father. I made sure he had a strong male role model in his life, someone who would show him what it truly meant to be respectful, kind, and caring. Over the years, I focused on my personal growth, pursuing my passions and interests, and even starting a new career. The experience with Martin taught me resilience, and I became more determined than ever to create a fulfilling life for myself and my son. Martin, on the other hand, seemed to hit rock bottom. Without the support of his friends and family, he faced loneliness and regret. The humiliation he had brought upon himself was a heavy burden to bear, and it seemed to consume him despite the anger I once felt towards him. I couldn't help but feel a tinge of pity for the man he had become. But this was not the end of the story. As much as I had healed and moved on, I couldn't ignore the fact that Martin had not faced any legal consequences for his actions. His affair had shattered our marriage, and he needed to be held accountable for his betrayal. With the help of a skilled attorney, I pursued a divorce settlement that was fair and just. Martin was forced to face the financial consequences of his actions, and I was able to secure a stable future for Henry and myself. Through it all, I remained firm in my resolve not to let Martin's actions define me. I was more than a victim of his deceit. I was a survivor who had emerged stronger and wiser for the ordeal. The revenge I sought had ultimately become a catalyst for my personal growth and transformation. As the years passed, Martin's memory faded into the background of my life. I had moved on, finding happiness and fulfillment in the love of family and friends. The past no longer haunted me, and I could finally look toward the future with hope and optimism. In the end, the revenge I sought was not about humiliating Martin, but about reclaiming my power and self-worth. I had faced the darkest moments of my life and emerged victorious, proving to myself that I was capable of overcoming even the most challenging of circumstances. And so, my life continued with a renewed sense of purpose and a heart filled with gratitude for the people who had stood by me throughout the journey. Martin's role in my life had taught me invaluable lessons about resilience, forgiveness, and the strength that comes from embracing one's truth. I had transformed from a victim to a survivor, and I was determined to live my life on my terms, free from the chains of a dysfunctional past. The revenge I sought had set me free, and in the process I had discovered a version of myself I never knew existed, a woman capable of rising above adversity and crafting her destiny.